Hello fellow artists, I'm Nada from Antipodes Art and welcome to Coaching for Artists. You know, when you're starting to learn to draw, transitioning from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions can be really tough. And it adds an extra dimension to your drawing, and you certainly want to aim for realism and realistic styles whenever you can. So in this video, what I'm going to do is show you how to use 2 drawing systems that simply use vertical and parallel lines. You get 3D forms, they look more realistic than the flat 2D, and it's a really good way to just nut down your ideas in 3D forms. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, if you're doing sculpture, painting, drawing, anything, it's a really good technique to use. So grab your cup of tea, again, always, and sharpen your pencils, and let's start drawing. So you should have your eraser or some kind of sharpener, and I have a 2B today because I want it to be nice and dark so that you can see. So what we're going to do is just do some drawing drills really to practice 3D shapes. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is some cylinders, and so the first thing that you need to do is to be able to draw parallel lines. Pretty straightforward, but it does take a little practice, and you can see that I'm sketching and fairly light. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make it into cylinders, so we're going to put in ellipses, and this is another good drill to do, practicing not circles for this 3D drawing, but drawing circles is a very good skill to have. But we're going to make cylinders, so we're going to put ellipses in like that. So we're just trying to touch the edge of the walls of the cylinder with our top and bottom of the ellipse. So we've gone from a 2D to a 3D shape. Let's also go this way. So at the moment we're drawing them there, and they're see-through, so that just to show you how the shapes work. Like that. And then of course you can tidy up with your eraser, but we're just doing drills. Alright, so the next thing that you can do to make things look 3D is to use contour lines, and they just look like this. They're just a replication of the surface in parallel to the curve that you've already put down at the top and the bottom of your cylinder. Now the next exercise that I want you to do is we're going to turn some flat shapes into 3D shapes. So we've got our first shape here, which is a square, and I'm just going to show you how that works. And then all we need to do is repeat the square, and remember these lines are all parallel. Then we just project back into space at a 45-degree angle. All the same, and if this was, we'll make that see-through. And then we just repeat this angle right here. This is dotted line. And then the back part. It's basically joining the dots. So now we have a 3D form. Okay, let's try a circle. How do you make a circle into 3D? A center point in it. And just like we did with our contour lines back here, we can create the illusion of a 3D shape. Next shape is a triangle, which we will turn it into a triangular prism first. So we'll draw and then, just like we did with the box, we project back at about a 45-degree angle, and then we just repeat our lines. And if this was see-through, it would look like that. Okay. Now this style of drawing has a technical name, and it's called oblique. And the way you can tell is that the front surface is flat to you, okay? So the last one, we'll do a triangle. We're going to do a cone again, a cone this time. So it is a triangle, and we're going to turn it into a cone. So we'll get our triangle shape again. Okay, and then what we'll do is we've got to put in an ellipse at the bottom. And we can roughly mark the center there. Okay, that would be dotted. Okay, so as you can see, if you can draw a flat shape with parallel lines, you can draw a 3D form. And just like we did before, we've got our parallels. I hope they're parallel. Oh, I'm not I'm not sitting straight on. So, and another ellipse. And there we have it. Okay. And of course, the other ways that you can create 3D form is with rendering, which is shading, but we'll do that in a later video. So the turning flat shapes, 2D shapes, into 3D shapes is a really good skill, because essentially everything that we see in our still lifes and the subjects that we will be drawing is made up of part of these shapes, or all of them, or some of them combined. So keep practicing with your 3D forms, and before you know it, you'll be drawing 3D shapes easy peasy. Okay, so we've learnt our oblique, we've learnt to roughly do some exercises here, and the next style of technical drawing method I'm going to show you is called isometric. And it's a 3D method, but it's a little bit different to oblique in that instead of having the front surface square onto you, it's on an angle. So let's have a look at what that might look like. So instead of that corner being over there, it's going to be in the middle. And then I project 45 degrees from, this is our 45 degrees here, and then I just project up and still parallel. These lines here are still parallel, so we've still got our parallel drawing systems, but it's a little different. And you might find that when you begin drawing that it is a little bit, probably a bit more realistic this way. So let's draw the triangle. That might be a bit tricky actually. Triangular prism would look like that, and a dotted line. What else could we draw? Well, if we put our lips on an angle, we can still project back at 45 degrees and finish the side of our cylinder. What about I think it's a hexagon or something. So I'm drawing the shape, or house shape, I don't know. Let's project it back up that way. And again, really easy drawing style because you already have your lines, because you've just drawn it on this surface and you're just projecting back at an angle. And then of course some more of the drawing you can't see because it's kind of put behind that surface. You know, even long rectangles. Parallel, parallel, vertical. So there are only two types of lines here, verticals and parallel. In this case they're 45 degrees. Okay, so we've got verticals and then parallels. Okay, let's draw a different type of triangle. Let's draw something like, so here's the base, there's our, make that vertical, and we'll go parallel. This is all going to be see-through. Parallel and parallel. Okay, so there's your 45 degree angle here and down there. All right, so yeah, vertical lines and parallel. That's your secret to drawing 3D shapes. Okay, so now I'm going to put what we've learned into practice, and I've got this lovely, it's an old box Brownie camera, and I've chosen this because it is a nice sort of basic shape, and it'll be quick to show you how what we've just learned works. So the first drawing method I'm going to use is oblique, where I'm drawing this surface straight on. So it's going to be hard for you to see, but you'll see the drawing as it forms. So if I put it here, so 45, it's a straight angle and then off at 45. So again, I'm going to start here, and hopefully my proportions will be okay and I'll fit it on the page. So I'm starting with blocks, and then I'm going to, I think it's a little bit, and this is a much higher, faster drawing, just to show you how oblique drawing might work in the real world. So I've got my oblique cube, but then I need to sort of carve away because the corners and whatnot are not, they're not cube-like. I've also got this section on top which sits up, so we'll put that one there. And project up. So again, vertical lines and parallel lines. That's all you have to do. There's no guessing. It's, you get your first line in right. It's plain sailing all the way. So from the angle that I was wanting to draw on, this has a nice big curve around here. So I'm going to curve that. And that means that that corner is curved too. This corner is curved as well. Okay, so you can see that it's starting to take on a different looking shape. Now also, this part here actually comes at an angle, so which is a little bit weird. And then out that way. Okay. Okay, and then down here, well, we've curved up there, and then what we've got is some very tight ellipses. So again, our ellipses have come in handy, and all we need to do is draw them ellipse and a parallel line, and a parallel line, and an ellipse, and another one. And we can see the... Now also we have some other shapes on the camera. We've got another ellipse here and a cylinder, and we have another ellipse over here, vertical line there. Okay, so you can see that I'm able to start just roughing out this form with only vertical and parallel lines. Okay, so that's real quick. Then, so that is oblique. Now we'll do, I'll put that over there. Now we will do an isometric. So I'll use the same kind of line. And instead of drawing it flat like this one, we're going to draw this angle first. Sorry. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to draw this one. All right. I need that there. So I'll try and make it the same kind of proportions. So we've got a corner in front. And we're going up this way and up this way. And just again, just mapping out our shape, our rectangle. Well, is it a square? No, it's kind of starts off as a square, but then it sort of flares out at the back here. But again, this is just so that you can see how it's done. And again, we carve away once we've got our form, and not too happy with that. Carving away, and carving away. Like that. Okay, and then we have our ellipses here for the lenses, and we've got if you get a bit stuck, you just give yourself a center point like this with your circles. And we can see just a little bit of the edge, but we can't see the side of the edge there. And pretty much like that. And of course, lots more detail to go, but we're just roughing out. And then here we've got an ellipse here, and another one here. Okay. Then we have another circle here. It's got a bit of a bit in the middle. It's a very small cylinder. We've got a circle here, the shutter release, that one, and a taller. And then we've got our section across the top. And that starts back there. Parallel, parallel. And of course more tidying is needed, but you've got the general gist, and we're able to check our proportions, but move further into the detail side of the drawing. And then remember, this one is called, sorry, this isn't looking too fab. That should actually be out. I'm going to do that again. Out here. So our circle should, our last lens should be about there. And our other bit should be there. And then into it better. And of course, I would add tone, and you'd be able to see it a lot easier. Okay. So, and this one is called Isometric. So this one is 45 degrees this way, and then this one can be 45, it can be 45 to 30 degrees. Okay, so you can see that that's two really good methods to draw, to learn to draw. Camera, it's just not cooperating, is it? There, cooperate. But yeah, I hope you can practice this one and find it useful. So there you have it. How did you go? Did you enjoy that? I hope that you learnt something useful. And my best advice is, just keep practicing, just like exercising. Just gotta do it. Just get better at it. I know. But if you do practice, you will get better, and I promise. So just to recap, really simple drawing systems: oblique and isometric. They are technical drawings systems, to be specific, but all they require is vertical lines and parallel lines. So once you pick your angles, you just stick with it, and it's really quite simple. So I do hope that you enjoy that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe, people, and enjoy more content from me, more interaction. Love to hear what you're thinking, and yeah, show me your work too. Okay, well, until next time, stay safe, my friends. God bless.